Today's story was written by Reddit user Mr. Sharks 202. Mankind is civil, thankfully so. Humanity no longer plays in the sand of heedless violence or wanton war, or at least she tries not to. Everyone accepts that civility is our greatest blessing, and that primal, deep urge resting in the conclusion of our guts is bad and wrong. Again, thankfully so. Yet, we kid ourselves sometimes. We pretend that the urge and animal hiding inside of us isn't actually there. We say that it's gone or evolved past. That is woefully wrong. We've long forgotten what our ancestral animalistic roots were like. Those roots now get covered up and blanketed by the graceful kiss of society. We forget about them, try to laugh about them. We read about them in the history books and say, no way. We pretend that it left us. March 15, 2029, they invaded, from a part of the universe that we called nowhere. They materialized. From the trenches of an infinite void, great tendrils of mechanical alien greed gripped us. As all good conquerors do, they gave us no explanation or chance at negotiations. From the moment we met, it was war, and humanity was ill-prepared. It wasn't close. With cannons that floated miles in the atmosphere and drones of every ilk, they practically just pushed one button and watched us crumble. They struck humanity, and she didn't stumble, but fell. Chaos ensued, and governance was the first to go. People scattered and nations disappeared under the weight of an unbearable sight, our demise. Within a week of the assault, all assemblages of mankind were ground to dust and cast into the tornadic winds of despair. It was over before it had started. The invaders planned on such, as was the ways of the inglorious conquest, commit intergalactic genocides and brutalize people so thoroughly that every aspect of soul and heart is destroyed and mangled beyond all repair. The rest is a mere clean-up duty, a simple mopping up of the poor sops still living a devoid and husk-like life, manually crushing the bugs not killed from the initial gassing. When the invaders finally bothered setting their own appendages atop Earth's ravined and salted soil, they found something strange. They walked across a blood-mucked blast zone where a city once stood and found a small oddity. It was new, for it couldn't have survived the initial onslaught of the first week. It was a great slab of broken concrete, and painted on its surface with bright velvet blood was a noose. And inside the rope's circular hearth was a crudely drawn image of the invaders. It was their first sign that humanity was not the same as the others. More vestiges of survival started to spring up across the planet. Statues and paintings, images and burnt, broken messages. They all pointed to the same thing, the same indomitable and perplexing fact. Humanity was still fighting, or, moreover, humanity was angry. Mankind had lost the art of beating war drums. It no longer made sense to a society built upon war as a last effort. We no longer pondered why such things used to be popular amongst our more carnal ancestors. Needless to say, on the first day of the counterattack, drums deafened the air worldwide. At first, the invaders thought we were a different species. It seemed unfathomable that the things poking their heads out of the ash and rubble, covered in war tattoos and smattered with fury, were the same things that had just been crushed under the boot of domination. The invaders fell into long pauses of silence and shock as they watched armies of screaming, raging humans charge wanton into certain death. On all fronts there seemed to be an abject abandonment of self-preservation, an outright denial of all natural attributes. It was a horrifying spectacle of pure violence, empowered by the purest feeling of cold vengeance and burnt memories of loved ones. The invaders were slow to understand, but what they were facing indeed wasn't mankind. It was her ancient ancestor, her war-painted, drum-beating, midnight-screaming banshee that used to haunt the earth thousands of years ago. It was the mono-focused machine of violence, once obsessed with avenging her friends and family, and willing to die just for that. It was a terror that the universe had tried to hide, a monstrosity nature taught civility in hopes that it would never return. Sadly for the invaders, and for the rest of the universe, they just awakened the ancient beast that once hid underneath our skins. The primal mankind returns.